welcome to FSP. Super excited to have you on board. Lots of things for us to talk about.
So I've always been intrigued at what I think of as the intersection of human behavior and emerging technologies. If well thought out, if well designed, that technology can help us achieve things in this life. And those things are, can be to do with helping organizations grow and helping, capitalize on opportunities, but equally they're about sort of building a better world and trying to find opportunities to have a positive impact. I've worked relentlessly in artificial intelligence over the last 10 years, trying to make use of the incredible potential and power of this particular technology. It's one of the most exciting technologies, if not the most exciting one I've ever come across.
Nobody knew what we were talking about, and none of it quite made sense. And it wasn't as much in the hands of people as it is now, right? It was, but everybody, it just was this big burst of conversation, this big burst of, it was mostly ML. It was, it was not the same as the Gen AI we're dealing with today, but you could see the start. And it was that beginning, and we started to understand so much about why transformation around AI is different. And then as you sort of come straight into what's happening with Gen AI and the way it's very significantly having an impact on the way we work. And something we've seen for years, the fear of people about how you make this change. But also lately, the opportunity it's presenting seems more in the hands of everybody than ever before.
When we met each other, initially, we found simpatico and we found an opportunity to kind of see two people that had a relentless vision, a determination, a lot of ambition, a lot of drive. If you're going to truly innovate, if you're going to truly transform, if you want to be disruptive, you have to have the coming together of ideas and execution. One of the things I saw in FSP really early on is an organization that knows that it does things well, but does it not from a standpoint where you got to build all kinds of guardrails and rigor into how that process functions in practice. It's not treating the people like machines. It's thinking more, how can we unlock, how can we empower? But within the confines of, we want to make impact, we want to make positive change, and we want to do it as quickly as we can.
So I always ask, what were we not seeing here when we're trying to do that? Right? How do you roll something out? How do you roll a digital change out and bring people with you? You create a culture of continuous learning, a culture of change, a way of speaking about these things that are shared across, so that you're not siloing, here's our digital disruption, and here are people.
What does a combinatorial explosion look like in FSP? Where AI has come in and played this incredible role in opening up possibilities for how we can shorten the period of time between when we speculate about the discovery of a drug to the point at which it goes through the clinical trials and it's ready to help save people, to help cure people, to help affect change positively in the world. There's no question. Some of those timelines have gone from 20 years to a year, 20 years to 2 years, 10 years to 6 months. We saw it with the vaccines in COVID. I mean, there's so many amazing examples now of the combinatorial explosion in action. Inside of an organization, you think like that, you start to say, let's take all of the assets that we have here, let's take all of the latent capabilities, and we start to piece that together in interesting ways, and we trial and we experiment.
You can very easily with AI show some very cool things that everyone gets very excited about, but actually, what's the reality of that? There's a gap there, an expectation gap.
Only 5% of organizations had a strategy for scaling AI in the enterprise. Lots of people had an AI strategy, or they were starting to form them, but very few had a vision that, their ambition wasn't matched by their ability to execute. You're not going to boil the ocean, and this isn't switching on a light switch or off. But the reality is you do have to move and you have to progress, and that has to be incremental gains. And it's a kind of a culture of incremental gains over time. So we would say to most organizations, where do you want to be in 2 years' time in the market?
How do you benchmark where people are, where their organization is, where organizations in general are in the UK on a certain factor, so that they can create thought leadership and say, we know where you are and we know how to help you.
Nobody's going to solve the world's problems on their own. It's only the coming together and the collaborative nature of these kinds of things that make things work.
How do you bring people along? How do you create really exciting thought leadership and insights that allow people to attach to the concepts and the ideas, and then allow you to say, this is where the UK is going, and this is how we back it, or this is how we talk to the government about better policy making.
If you want to increase your fitness, eat well, sleep well, and exercise regularly. What if you want to increase your fitness around AI? What if you want to, think of your organization as an organism that's made up of people and AI agents and infrastructure and estates and everything else, and you put all that together, and this organism is capable of thinking big, starting small, and moving fast and scaling fast, and it becomes encultured, becomes embedded.
Super excited about what we're going to achieve together, and just wanted to genuinely thank you for joining FSP and becoming part of the journey.